When I joined the board at TIE, yeah, I am tall. Yeah, thanks. So, when I joined the board at TIE, I told Kanchan कि यार एक चीज होनी चाहिए TIE के बारे में कि whenever somebody starts a company, first place he should go should be to Siddhivinayak, right? And second place should be to the TIE office, get a membership. So hopefully we're getting there. Great work. Welcome all of you. You can't hear. Now? Better? Oh, wonderful. Even more. My God. Yeah, you'll have to bear with me. So, I wanted to talk about a lot of things. I'll just restrict myself to what's happening, inspired by Rahul Gandhi's speech. A very popular one. The economy is going to be very complex, confused. We might not even have 5% growth, by the way, right? There is degrowth in many sectors, right? And it's going to be tough till we really have a completely new social, political, and economic system in the country. But it is these times of upheaval that we have the best startups coming out. If you look at the listed companies of today, Just Dial, which is going to be listed, Make My Trip, Naukri, all of these companies were EduComp, and all of these companies were struggling in the early 2000s, 2001, 2, 3. A very bad time for the economy. I don't know how many of you were really actively watching the economy at that point in time. Very tough times. And I think today is even tougher than that. I don't remember things being so bad. And I think this is the best time to start a company, right? Your competition is getting out. Hiring is very, very easy. Right? There's so many people, right? And nobody leaves low attrition. Rents are cheap. You're getting free offices. And of course, yeah, there are so many accelerators because there are so many jobless people out there at the top. And there are so many accelerators, right? So this is the best time to start a company. There have been some doubts about some sectors, and this is one common question that we all ask: what sector should I start my business in? Right? Am I in the right space? So one thing is that you have to watch out for changing things, right? The consumer boom of recent years, starting 2005-6 onwards, is mellowing down, right? The number of people being added to the middle class is high, but the middle class of yesteryears will be the new lower middle class now. Right? People are again becoming very, very conscious about where they spend, how they spend, and all of that. At the same time, there are some cultural changes happening. A lot of people will, as you will see around yourself, almost all households have to be double income now. The concept of single income household is like over, right? Unless you have a very, very rich father-in-law. So in these times, and maids are getting costlier, for example, drivers are getting costlier. So self-help will be one big theme, right? And that will be a serious cultural change. And people are still immigrating into cities, but then husband and wife both work, don't get house help. They need external help and enter entrepreneurs, right? In areas like food, healthcare, education. Because both parents are working, there will be a lot of guilt money being spent after kids on education. So these are some of the themes that you have to watch out for. And because again, both people are earning, right, the expenditure on health will be much higher. Typically, traditionally, right, and you may hate me for saying this, but typically, money was spent only to save the life of the bread earner of the family. That's how the decision making goes, right? The main bread earner would be given the best healthcare treatment, and the others will be sort of okay. ठीक है, इतने में बच रहा तो ठीक है, वरना जाने दो. So, but now if there are multiple bread earners in the country, right, you have that much more expenditure on healthcare, which by the way, is getting more and more expensive. So there are some themes and there are some doubts about whether technology will do well or not, but you might be surprised, in a bad economy, things which save cost and systems which are more efficient grow much faster. So you will find that big retail, right, will slow down e-commerce will gain at the expense of, within a few years, you will find that one of the big e-commerce companies will be the largest retailer in the country, whether it's online or offline. Right? And the top 3 retailers after 5 years in the country will all be offline only, or online only. Right? In the top 3, 4, 5 retailers in the country across the board. I mean, you might find somebody like a Myntra or a Jabong or these 2 companies themselves being much bigger than Shoppers Stop. They're not very far away already. Right? Most of the revenues of Shoppers Stops and Pantaloons are, by the way, suspicious anyways. Right? They may not be genuine revenues anyways. Right? Which might be true, by the way, for some e-commerce companies also. So as we go through the building years, you may find less and less news about funding of various companies in these great sectors, but at the same time you will find a lot of news about these companies growing phenomenally well, and this will be confusing signals, because you will think, yeah, funding to nahi ho raha hai, but how are these companies growing well? And that's how it happens typically. Investors invest a little ahead of time. And right now, whoever starts a new company. And by the way, I mean, another thing that I have heard from entrepreneurs is that, there is a first mover advantage. So how many of you think that real estate listing portals are outdated today? Real estate listing portals? Do you think they're outdated? Yeah, you think they're very current, socially connected? Right? 50-50? Yeah, they're current, they're very useful. You think they can be killed? Yeah, so actually, the time has come now that actually first movers, unless they change dramatically, and I won't take names, but they're already suffering, unless the first movers change dramatically, across real estate, across jobs, across matrimonials, and any of these classifieds, unless they change dramatically, things will be very tough for them. And there will be a new generation of entrepreneurs. So don't worry, saying कि यार इसमें इतनी बड़ी कंपनी है इस सेक्टर के अंदर तो मैं क्या करूँगा? On the contrary, you will find that the big guys have a lot of legacy revenues and lot of legacy issues, and they will not be able to compete with a nimble company who's not worried that much about a particular revenue channel. And the same story happened with the e-commerce guys. By the way, Flipkart was not the first e-commerce company in the country. The first e-commerce companies were started 10 years ago. And can you name something which is like more than 10 years ago in e-commerce? Rediff? No, it's not e-commerce. India Plaza. Yeah. Very few survived, right? India Time Shopping, Rediff Shopping. They've been around for so many years, but they are not at the top right now. Right? So go out. Break all these rules, right? I mean, don't worry about somebody being there and somebody already being a giant and all of that. These are the opportunities, and there is more fun in going after a really large company, maybe like a Naukri or a Magic Bricks and those kind of guys, than in trying to find a new sector and a new theme, right? Which is also good, but don't worry, don't hesitate in taking on a big challenge, and don't worry that you have much less money, right? But another advice is don't keep waiting, don't waste your time for raising money. It's very tough right now. So I'd rather say that, yeah, do be in touch with investors, but focus 90% of your time on building a product, right? And these are the best times. You'll find that consumers actually change their behaviors much more rapidly in bad economic circumstances. And you might be able to, really capture a lot of those in these times. See you throughout the day and hope you have a great time. Please give a big hand to Kanchan and team for organizing this. Thank you very much.